I want to start off with this and just get this and talk about this before we move on to pay respects and discuss the tragic death of former quarterback Dwayne Haskins. He has passed away at the age of 24. He was struck by a dump truck on Interstate 595 down in South Florida earlier on in this weekend. And this was it came as a surprise to a lot of us. He was a very young kid, and you never know when life is going to just leave like that. And I know there was all the talks and everything going on about Dwayne Haskins as a person. And there really is one quote that summed it up the best from Mike Tomlin, who really hasn't even had that much time with him, but saw the true character of Dwayne Haskins. He said, quote, "He quickly became part of our Steelers family upon his arrival in Pittsburgh and was one of our hardest workers, both on field and in our community. Dwayne was a great teammate, but even more so a tremendous friend to so many. I'm truly heartbroken." This is so true about who Dwayne Haskins was from what everyone has really said around the sports world. And it's very tragic that we have lost such a young, promising person. Not even just don't even call him just a quarterback. This is a person that we have now lost so early at the age of 24. Gentlemen, I will let this, I'll give it up to you guys. Aaron, start off with you. What are your thoughts here?
First of all, you mentioned shocking, like surprised. This is something you just don't expect from a 24-year-old young man, right? Who's in the prime of his life, playing in the NFL, living his dream. And so, waking up on, I believe it was Saturday, just in shock of like, wait, what's going on? What happened? And it never, I mean, this is something we see in sports. We see when, celebrities or people that are in the public eye, it happens. We're always shocked by it. And this is a player that, as much negative light that was shed on him as an NFL player, he was a first-round draft pick. He was third in the Heisman voting as a sophomore in 2018. I remember that season very vividly. He threw for almost 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, and 8 picks with 70% completion at Ohio State. And then he had that big game in the Rose Bowl against Washington in his final game at Ohio State. And again, you're talking about a guy that's more than just a football player, despite maybe not even being given his opportunities in the NFL after, switching teams short into his career. I think it's just important that we remember, like I said, he has a family. He is a young man who achieved so much in his life in the short 24 years. And we forget how we talk about these NFL players as failures or successes. These are NFL players. These are the best 1,500 football players in the world, despite how they measure up against their counterparts. And, it's sad that we have to say goodbye at such a young age, and who knows what he would have been able to accomplish in the right circumstances, right? We always talk about opportunity and where we flourish, where those opportunities may come. And he might have gotten a chance in Pittsburgh. Who knows what happens with Mitchell Trubisky and how that chance is, kind of taken away. So it's very sad. We're obviously mourning the loss of him, and, shout out to his family, and our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family and his friends and his teammates, and obviously the Steelers, the Washington organization, as well as Ohio State.
Yeah, I think a lot of the NFL players around the league did a fantastic job of summing up for the general public how guy Dwayne Haskins was, because as we know, there are NFL fans who forget the line of being an NFL fan, a person, and everyone could be focused for the last 2 or 3 years, lasting memories of Haskins in Washington. For me, my lasting memory of Dwayne Haskins in Washington is that moment when they were supposed to be on the field and he's out there taking photos with the fans and everything. And sure, you're supposed to be on the field. I get it. But think about that moment. He's there smiling and living it up and enjoying it. And you can see the smile. You can see it being infectious. You can see that the crowd and the fandom would literally, they would pull to Dwayne Haskins if he was to get it together and start like being a better player as the years went along in Washington. Sadly, he wasn't given that chance. But from the moment he walked into Pittsburgh, from everything I've heard, he was trending in the right direction. He was working hard. He was being a team player to everybody around him. I was excited for the future. We know this guy was a player, but we've recently all got to find out the type of person he was. And honestly, that makes me a lot more excited. Just being a human, to get that message Saturday morning to hear that he passed away, not only was it shocking, you immediately felt the sadness in it, not even knowing the guy, but just knowing, like for me, 2-3 hours down the road, this man's life has been taken away at the young age of 24. So condolences to his family, his friends, the NFL. They did lose a brother. No matter what they thought of him, how young he was in the league, he's no longer with them. But I hope the Steelers, Washington, and everyone else will remember him the right way in this upcoming season.
Very easy guy to root for, especially later on in his career. And we definitely send our thoughts and prayers out to all the friends and family associated with Dwayne Haskins. And now, if you guys don't mind, I know you guys don't mind. I don't know why I asked you that. We will take a moment of silence in honor of Dwayne Haskins.